What's the dumbest mistake you've seen an incompetent coworker make? The designer, creative director and head of production all missed that there was an 8-day week on a calendar. We sent 10,000 copies of a useless calendar to a client. Rightly so. They refused to pay for it. At a Petco, all the guinea pigs were in a big plexiglass enclosure with a center divider. Boys on one side and girls on the other. An employee decided that all the long-haired guinea pigs should be on one side and short-haired on the other. It took forever to sort them out and all the females were pregnant. I worked in a veterinary hospital for a good number of years. One day, unknown to me, some little girl had found a dead, dying seagull with her family and brought it in to see if we could help it, but it has passed by the time they arrived. Our veterinary technician took said bird for disposal but was too busy to deal with it then. Put it in the freezer. 1 minute tops with labeling. So instead he just packed a box with the dead bird into our storage area with dozens of similar boxes and just leaves it there. Days go by. While he is still working, I should add. And I come back on shift and something is seriously rank in the office. Customers are complaining. No one knows what would cause it. But I eventually find the box buried beneath other supplies. I walk up to my head receptionist and say, "So, seagull?" and watch the absolute fury grow in her eyes. The tech did not last long after that. TLDR. Vet tech was lazy. Put a dead animal into a storage box. Then left it to ripen for days while continuing to work there until discovered. I worked as a radiation protection tech at a power plant that was refueling. My job was to sit outside of a contaminated area and if anyone wanted to take something out of the area, tools, etc., I had to make sure it didn't have any radioactive particles on it. To do this, you wipe the tool with something like a tissue and then hold the tissue up to a machine called a frisker. If the needle on the frisker goes above a threshold, then the tool has to be cleaned or left in the area. One day I come back to relieve a guy who had been sitting outside the area for 2 hours. He tells me there's been no issues and everything has cleared. I look at the frisker, lean over and turn the machine on. Poured sink cleaning solution into the ice cream machine instead of the cream mixture and I had to stop them. They then said, "I'm sure it'll be fine. It was only a little." No, that would poison people. I had to clean out the whole machine top to bottom and refill it. I ended up throwing away nearly a whole bucket full of contaminated ice cream mixture. I would also like to add that the containers didn't look anything alike. The sink stuff came in big plastic jugs with screw tops and the ice cream comes in cardboard cartons. Like orange juice. That you have to cut open. So I don't know how she could have possibly mixed the two up. Shut down a critical file server. Then lied about it. Even after he was presented with the logs that showed it was his user account. That initiated the shutdown. It's not so much the mistake that he made. But it was when he lied about making the mistake. That was a rookie move. Mark Twain once said, "I do not fear death. I had been dead for billions and billions of years before I was born. And had not suffered the slightest inconvenience from it." Why do you disagree with his statement? Why is this phrased like it's your homework, op? What wretched English assignment is this, and why have you wrenched it upon us? Mark Twain's sentiment reminds me of this. Enjoy life. There's plenty of time to be dead. Hans Christian Andersen. Once I wasn't. Now, I am. Someday I won't be. Time is only relevant to you when you are alive. He is right. Have you ever been sedated for surgery? You go under. And then instantly wake up and procedure is done. Or you died, so no worries. I'm just paranoid that something does happen after death and it's just based on one thing that you didn't know about. What place might as well be a sociopath convention? Looks around. Sociopaths surround themselves with less powerful people. In my experience, you might find them at the top of nearly any organization. Though. Pick up artistry classes. Influencer house. A Mensa meeting. Seriously. The most antisocial, elitist, pretentious bunch of supposed geniuses you'll ever see. Miami. 911 dispatchers. What was a time you had to contain your laughter? Got a call by one of the managers at a bowling alley complaining that their ice machine was broken. And it's a really busy night, and how if someone doesn't come out to fix it? There will be no cold drinks. A woman called 911 demanding that a man sitting on her favorite park bench be removed by the police. She was told misuse of 911 is a crime. But she called back 2 more times. Not sure whatever became of her. But I would imagine she got a big fine. When I was dispatching for the police, there was this one time where this guy called in and said that he was being chased by a chicken. I tried my best to keep a straight face, but I was laughing so hard on the inside. Not dispatch, but I used to code ambulance runs for billing to insurance, patient, and we had to read all of the reports. With that in mind, I have seen a lot of strange shit, but I think my favorite WTF one was the patient whose primary complaint was bleeding from the anus. When my guys got them to the ambulance, they found out that the patient's current partner had, for reasons that I still have questions about, somehow gotten a rather large vegetable shoved up there. Like, a vegetable larger than my fist, and the bleeding was from attempts to remove it at home with various utensils. After several failed attempts, they finally decided to call 911 and get professional help. I still don't know how the EMTs kept a straight face for that one. My sister's story. Teenager attempted to get police because there was a monster chicken walking around behind a gate at someone's house. Turns out he didn't know what turkeys looked like. We had an absolutely batshit crazy lady calling in from a disconnected cell phone on a regular basis. For a while, we could never get a good location out of her or from the phone itself, so we were never able to send anyone out to check on her. One night she called in, and since it was slow and always a good time, those of us not doing anything clicked in on the line to listen. She was ranting and raving, and the call taker who had her was one of the sweetest, nicest people you ever wanted to meet. Eventually she asks where she lives, and the woman replied with, "I live on Sesame Street," and without missing a beat the call taker responded, "Well ma'am, can you tell me how to get to Sesame Street?" We all collectively lost it. Thank God for noise cancelling mics lol. She called back later that morning and we were able to get her to sing Schoolhouse Rock with us. It was fantastic. I still think about her on a regular basis. We never were able to track her down. I hope wherever she is she's gotten the help she needed. What are you willing to give up in exchange for $10 million? Only 10 mil? I'm pretty poor, take my kidneys. My ass. This book I'm reading, it's crap. A finger. Quite literally everything I currently own. Save for the clothes on my back. Subscribe, my brothers.